Welcome to the day's top cryptocurrency news videos in review, where we provide time-saving summaries of videos about cryptocurrencies. Because I believe financial education is important, but we don't all have time to keep up on it. Today, we'll be discussing one of the hottest topics out there, Bitcoin's potential for the future.
Is it facing a bullish resurgence or a trap? We're diving into several expert analyses to uncover what's really happening in the market.
In with all the latest from major voices in crypto, this is a must-watch for any investor. First, Crypto Banter delves into Trump's role and the excitement surrounding Bitcoin. Next, Altcoin Daily examines whether the US will really buy a massive reserve of Bitcoin. Ivan on Tech analyzes Bitcoin's impressive market resilience amid political unrest. Cryptos tackles the question, is the worst truly over for Bitcoin? Lark discusses how major investors are doubling down on Bitcoin despite its drops. Coin Bureau reveals the chilling potential of the digital euro and its implications. Benjamin Cowen provides insider insights from the Bitcoin Nashville conference. Lastly, the Moon warns of the biggest Bitcoin trap in history. Welcome to Crypto Banter, where the waves of crypto never stop crashing. Today's big question, is Trump fooling the crypto traders or is it all above board? Buckle up, folks. This one's a doozy.
Absolutely. Trump recently made headlines at the Bitcoin conference, promising game-changing moves for the crypto industry. With his high-profile appearance and promises, he's certainly ignited discussions. But we have to untangle the truth from the theatrics.
So, what's the buzz about Trump and Bitcoin?
The core thesis here is that Trump's commitment to making Bitcoin the backbone of the U.S. economy could reshape the crypto landscape. He sees an opportunity to position the U.S. as a crypto superpower ahead of the upcoming election.
What are the key takeaways from Trump's speech regarding his Bitcoin plans?
He vows to have the U.S. Treasury purchase 550 Bitcoin daily. Plus, Trump proposes to keep all Bitcoin held by the U.S. government, treating it as a strategic asset.
Looks like Bitcoin could shape the elections. What's the story?
Bitcoin is emerging as a pivotal issue in the upcoming elections. Both parties are rallying support, which might position Bitcoin as a key voter mobilizer.
Let's talk about the conference excitement. What were the highlights?
The Bitcoin conference attracted over 22,000 attendees. The overall enthusiasm was palpable as key figures championed Bitcoin's place in the mainstream economy.
What predictions were made during this conference?
Expect to see more political candidates align with Bitcoin as public interest soars, further fueling market optimism and potential bullish trends.
So regulation is on the table too?
Yes, and there's a strong indication that Trump's proposals may usher in much-needed regulatory clarity, easing previous restrictions that hampered growth.
So in summary, what should viewers take away from all of this?
Trump's proposals could signal a major shift in how Bitcoin is perceived and regulated in the U.S., making it an influential player in upcoming elections. The call to action is clear. Stay informed and engaged.
Welcome to Altcoin Daily. Today's hotly debated topic, will the United States government buy 5% of all Bitcoin? Get ready to dive into the waves of Bitcoin's potential role as a reserve asset.
Absolutely. The discussion centers around Bitcoin gaining status as a U.S. reserve asset, not unlike gold. With significant political backing, the implications are enormous.
So what's the big idea here? Why should the U.S. get into Bitcoin?
The core thesis is that by acquiring Bitcoin, the U.S. seeks to bolster its financial standing and possibly cut the national debt in half within 20 years. It's a bold strategy aimed at elevating the dollar on the global stage.
Let's break this down. What's the plan for Bitcoin as a reserve asset?
The U.S. aims to acquire 4 million Bitcoins at a rate of 550 coins daily. This would position the U.S. competitively, similar to its 19% share of global gold reserves.
What about the projections for national debt reduction?
If managed effectively, possessing 1 million Bitcoins in 2 decades could reduce the national debt significantly. Bitcoin's valuation could potentially reach hundreds of trillions of dollars.
And who's backing this ambitious Bitcoin initiative?
Strong political support exists. Trump advocates for this plan, while Senator Cynthia Lummis also supports establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The gears are turning.
So how does Bitcoin's volatility stack up against gold?
Bitcoin's scarcity and upward movement lend it value, bypassing typical asset volatility. Some analysts even expect rate cuts soon, which could fuel Bitcoin growth.
What predictions are made about Bitcoin's future in U.S. reserves?
The aim is to secure 4 million Bitcoins over 5 years, creating a reserve that could stabilize the dollar and boost the economy. It's all part of a grand strategy.
And what's the long-term outlook for Bitcoin?
If successful, Bitcoin could become a critical strategic asset, with implications for national debt reduction and international financial standing. The future looks bright.
Wrapping it up, what are the main takeaways?
The U.S. government is aiming for a robust Bitcoin reserve, potentially cutting the national debt in half and increasing its financial stature globally. This ambitious approach could redefine economic strategies for years to come.
Any closing thoughts on the execution of this plan?
Strategic measures and broad support will be crucial for launching a national Bitcoin reserve. It's an intricate dance of policy and asset management.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Bitcoin News. Today, we're diving into the resurgent market of Bitcoin, which seems to be bouncing back like it's just popped up from the ocean.
That's right. Ivan Liljakvist is shedding light on Bitcoin's resistance to dropping below $60,000, so let's get straight to the facts.
What's the core thesis from Ivan today? How is Bitcoin managing to stay afloat?
Bitcoin's current stability, despite market turbulence, suggests a bullish potential. It's like a beach ball that, when pushed underwater, just pops back up.
Let's explore the key points. What's the latest on market resilience?
Absolutely. Despite fluctuations, Bitcoin is holding strong at around $64,000. The bears simply can't push it below 60. It's quite impressive.
What about corporate moves in the Bitcoin space?
Oh, MicroStrategy is a key player, stockpiling Bitcoin worth $14 billion and planning to bolster that by $2 billion through debt issuance.
And what political factors are influencing the market?
When the odds of Kamala Harris rising in predictions increase, the crypto market tends to take a hit, acting like a wet blanket over investor sentiment.
What predictions has Ivan made for Bitcoin's price?
He predicts that the longer Bitcoin remains in this tight trading range, the more significant the breakout could be, possibly pushing prices above $70,000.
And what about MicroStrategy's approach?
If they continue their aggressive accumulation strategy, it's plausible other countries or corporations might imitate this approach, which would only further elevate Bitcoin's status.
In summary, what are the key takeaways from today's discussion?
Bitcoin's current resilience indicates a bullish trend ahead, especially with strategic players like MicroStrategy ramping up their buy-ins. Buckle up, the market may just be getting started.
And how significant are the political factors discussed?
While political dynamics create short-term volatility, they shouldn't distract from the overall momentum building in the crypto space.
Ahoy cryptocurrency enthusiasts! Welcome back to CryptosRUs. Today, we're diving deep into the tumultuous waters of Bitcoin. Is the worst truly over for this digital treasure?
In today's session, George Tung will break down the recent volatility and navigate through the current economic landscape affecting Bitcoin. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
So what's the crux of today's discussion? Are we on the brink of a Bitcoin renaissance or doom?
The thesis is clear. Although Bitcoin has faced some sharp dips and market uncertainty, it remains fundamentally stable and poised for potential growth in the long run.
Let's sketch out some key points. What's going on with Bitcoin's price?
Bitcoin took a nosedive to $62,000 and managed a comeback to $64,000. This volatility is reactive to the underlying market trends that are shaking things up.
And more on market sentiment. What are investors feeling right now?
Investors are spooked. The Nasdaq tanked, erasing $400 billion. Increasing unemployment claims and a sluggish manufacturing index are fueling recession fears, pushing Wall Street to sell off.
Now, what if we take a step back? What does zooming out reveal?
When you zoom out, Bitcoin's current price is still a hefty improvement over that $53,000 we saw in July. Furthermore, major institutional investors are still gobbling it up.
What does the crystal ball show for Bitcoin's future?
Analysts predict Bitcoin could hit $350,000 by 2050, with some ambitious forecasts reaching up to $3 million. Now that's a treasure hunt.
To wrap it up, what should viewers take away?
The mantra remains, when in doubt, zoom out. Bitcoin is navigating these stormy waters perfectly well, exhibiting resilience despite the choppy seas of volatility. So hold on tight.
What's the key action point for our audience?
Stay informed, keep your hands steady, and remember, while the news may sound alarming, Bitcoin's long-term potential shines like gold amidst the fog.
Welcome to another exciting episode. Today we'll dive into a dramatic day in Bitcoin's world, where it crashed to around $62,000. But hold on to your life vests, because we've got the Giga Chad himself, Michael Saylor, jumping in to make even bigger moves.
Right, Lark Davis breaks down the chaos surrounding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bit of altcoin news. Buckle up, folks. It's a wild ride ahead.
What's the main takeaway from Lark's discussion?
The core thesis is that while Bitcoin may be dipping now, the confidence shown by investors like Saylor signals a robust long-term outlook and suggests that buying opportunities are ripe.
Let's break down the key points. What happened with Bitcoin?
Lark highlights that Bitcoin crashed down to about $62,000, yet many investors, including Saylor, maintain a bullish sentiment. This signifies confidence in the asset's future.
What about Michael Saylor? What's he up to?
Saylor bought 169 additional Bitcoins, pushing MicroStrategy's holdings to an astonishing 266,000 Bitcoin. That's a massive bet on the future.
What's happening with Bitcoin ETFs?
A notable development is that family offices managing wealth for affluent families are now setting a 1% allocation to Bitcoin ETFs. This shows greater acceptance and support for Bitcoin investments.
Now, what does the market outlook look like?
Given the current patterns, if Bitcoin can hold certain ground, it could potentially rise to $80,000 to $85,000 soon. History shows this volatility is quite typical.
What predictions are on the horizon?
Lark predicts that 2024 will be a breakout year for Bitcoin, seeing a significant increase in mainstream adoption and ETF inflows reaching record highs.
Wrapping it all up, what are the big takeaways?
The overall message is clear. Despite recent price drops, the faith from institutional investors like Saylor and the growing ETF interest indicates a bright future for the crypto space. Stick around for future updates.
Welcome back to Coin Bureau, where we navigate the tumultuous waters of digital finance. Today's topic, the intense developments surrounding the digital euro and what central banks are really planning.
Indeed. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are all the rage, especially with the European Central Bank setting the stage for a more controlled financial system. Let's dive straight into the facts.
So, what's the core thesis behind the digital euro initiative?
The main takeaway is that the digital euro is designed to help the ECB control not just the flow of money, but also limit how much people can spend and save. Sounds dystopian, right?
What factors pushed the ECB towards the digital euro?
It all started back in 2019 when Facebook unveiled its Libra currency. The ECB saw private currencies as a direct threat and ramped up discussions by late 2021 amid a crypto boom.
You mentioned dystopian features. What's on the table?
Features include transaction limits and the ability for the ECB to control what and when people can purchase. Privacy? Forget about it. It's a zero.
When can folks expect this digital currency to be operational?
The preparation phase kicks off in late 2023, but with bureaucratic red tape, experts suggest a launch won't happen until at least 2028. Patience will be key.
Privacy sounds like a huge issue here. What details can you share?
Absolutely. While users think they might have anonymity, the reality is that every transaction will be visible to the ECB through commercial banks managing Know Your Customer processes.
So, what are the predictions on how this will all play out?
EU politicians may face backlash from the public who are increasingly wary of how the digital euro could affect personal finances. This might lead to delays or even a halt.
What do you foresee in the wider financial landscape?
As skepticism grows, the likelihood of ordinary citizens opting for private cryptocurrencies skyrockets. They'll be looking for alternatives to the digital euro.
To wrap things up, what's the final outlook on the digital euro?
The digital euro brings some serious concerns for privacy and financial freedom. If EU citizens resist, it could mean the euro's agenda, like a ship lost at sea.
And what's the takeaway here?
The central banks must recognize that citizens are catching on. The looming specter of opposition could redefine the future of currency in Europe. Stay informed, folks.
Welcome back to NFA Live. Today, we dive into the exciting world of Bitcoin in 2024 with our knowledgeable guests, Rob from Digital Asset News and Guy from Coin Bureau Clips. Get ready as we anchor ourselves in the latest insights from the Bitcoin Nashville conference.
Absolutely. Both Rob and Guy bring unique perspectives. Rob attended the conference and can share the buzz firsthand, while Guy has a broader analytical view of the market dynamics.
So, what's the headline takeaway from this discussion?
The core thesis is that Bitcoin is gaining traction not just as an asset, but as a political topic, highlighted by significant political figures attending the conference and showing interest.
Let's explore the key points, starting with political engagement. Who showed up at the conference?
Both Trump and RFK Jr. attended, signaling a significant shift as they addressed the audience, raising optimism among attendees.
How was the overall vibe at the conference?
Energy was previously low, but 2024 saw renewed enthusiasm, likely due to Bitcoin's price movements.
What are the current discussions around market dynamics?
Conversations around ETFs are buzzing. Rate cuts could transform how the altcoin market reacts moving forward.
So, what's driving consumer sentiments in the current market?
There's growing interest in Bitcoin as people navigate fears of inflation and economic instability.
What predictions are on the table regarding regulation?
A shift towards more favorable regulations is anticipated as politicians recognize Bitcoin's relevance, a promising sign for investors.
And what about the potential recovery of altcoins?
Rate cuts could rejuvenate altcoins, especially as the crypto market stabilizes in the coming years.
Wrapping things up, what's the major takeaway?
The engagement of political figures emphasizes Bitcoin's rising legitimacy. With potential regulatory shifts and market recovery on the horizon, the landscape is looking promising.
Welcome back to the Moon. Today's discussion revolves around a topic that has everyone buzzing, the biggest Bitcoin trap in history. Joining this fascinating conversation is the expert Carl Runefelt. He's been traveling nonstop, giving us insights straight from the front lines of the crypto revolution.
Absolutely. Carl's experience in the crypto space gives him an incredible perspective on market trends. Prepare yourself for a deep dive into Bitcoin's current landscape.
So what's the crux of Carl's analysis? Is Bitcoin really a trap?
The core thesis posits that Bitcoin might be part of a significant trap for investors, particularly as it correlates closely with stock market trends and the potential for upcoming corrections.
What's the situation with market corrections?
Right now, sentiment is quite negative. Bitcoin typically follows the stock market. As stocks decline, Bitcoin is likely to follow suit.
Now, how does technical analysis play into this?
There are significant warning signs indicating we're at a topping pattern. Recent breakdowns in prices point to potentially volatile conditions ahead.
What about the CME gap?
The CME gap sits around $58,700. While it's likely to close, this won't necessarily break Bitcoin's bullish trend.
What about the broader market behavior?
The market now reacts quickly to Federal Reserve interest rate changes. Historical trends indicate that market reactions often lag behind such policy shifts, indicating potential future risks.
What are Carl's predictions moving forward?
Carl predicts Bitcoin could dip further toward $58,000. Additionally, he warns that seasonal trends suggest September might be weak for the asset.
And what about the long-term outlook?
Long-term opportunities remain strong. Implementing a dollar-cost averaging strategy could position investors well for the next bullish cycle, especially with upcoming elections possibly impacting the market.
What's the final takeaway from Carl's analysis?
Investors are advised to brace for potential volatility, but maintain a long-term perspective. The right strategies could lead to significant opportunities ahead, provided they stay informed and cautious.
We've heard various insights today, from the potential influence of political actions to the market's unpredictable nature.
Experts are split on the future of Bitcoin. Some see it as the next big thing, while others warn of traps ahead.
No matter your take, staying informed is essential to navigate these ever-changing waters. Thanks for watching the day's top cryptocurrency news videos in review for August 2nd, 2024. If you'd like more time-saving content, please remember to like and subscribe. If you have ideas for more channels you'd like to see summarized, drop a comment below. See you next time.